Everyone, we're going to go ahead and get started. If you wouldn't mind, please put your phones on mute. I'm not sure if we enabled that option on our end, but just to minimize the background noise, it'd be very helpful. Okay, well, welcome to today's webinar. Today's topic for the webinar is how to integrate SolarWinds with ServiceNow in just 5 minutes. Yes, believe it or not, it's really possible, and it's something that we've been getting a lot of requests for, and that we're becoming well known for. So we thought we'd just do a webinar and show you how easy it is to do with eyeShare software. Okay, today's webinar will be presented by myself. My name is Guy Nadivi, and I am the Business Development Manager for eyeShare Software. And joining me shortly with the demo itself will be Yaron Levy. He is our VP of Professional Services, as well as one of the co-founders of eyeShare. So a quick commercial for you, and then we'll go ahead and dive into the demo. eyeShare is a leading innovator of IT process automation software, and we were founded in 2007. We're headquartered in New Jersey, and the idea for eyeShare, the software itself, was born out of an actual customer need. They say necessity is the mother of invention, and necessity is certainly in our family tree as well, because it was a real need that we were responding to when we created eyeShare. And the product was first launched in 2009, and today the current version is 4.6.1, and it's really evolved quite a bit from when we first started. So this is just a small sample of some of the companies that are currently using eyeShare. What's most notable about this is we've only recently started selling in North America, and we've got some really premier customers that have signed up already because they recognize what eyeShare can do for them, not only in integrating ServiceNow with SolarWinds, but a lot more beyond that. You recognize most of these names, but the one that I want to point out in particular is Capgemini, one of the largest consulting firms in the world. And they are not only a customer, but after they started using it as a customer, they signed on to be one of eyeShare's resellers as well. That's how much they believe in the product. Okay, so the idea here today for today's webinar is about integrating SolarWinds with ServiceNow. And SolarWinds, as many of you know, is a network monitoring system, possibly the most popular one right now, or certainly will be soon. And the other platform is ServiceNow, which is a up-and-coming player in the ITSM market, but it's definitely the one that has all the momentum, it would seem, right now, because companies are either buying ServiceNow, or a lot of them are migrating off of their current ITSM platform to ServiceNow. And so we've been getting a lot of requests for integrating the two of them, SolarWinds with ServiceNow. But what we're going to show you today conceptually is something that can be done with many network monitoring systems and ITSM platforms in any combination. So the HP suite, the Microsoft solutions, Splunk, Nagios, IBM, all those solutions can be integrated one with another using the software that we're going to be demonstrating today. But today, we're going to strictly talk about SolarWinds and ServiceNow and connecting those two. And what's going on today is really a disconnected process in most data centers. They've set up SolarWinds, Orion, or Network Performance Monitor, and it's looking at the data center and all the servers, and it's monitoring them for problems or incidents or thresholds being crossed. And when it does that, what it does is it sends out an alert. And that's great. It's very proactive. It lets you know when there's a problem before you find out about it through other means. So it's letting you know of a problem, and the way it does that is usually with a text message or an email or some other means, but it's going to a person. And then that person gets the alert, and then they open up a ticket in ServiceNow. And so this is kind of the weak link in the chain, is the alert gets generated by SolarWinds, and then it requires a person to go and input it into ServiceNow. And then once the alert's been remediated, the person can go back and update SolarWinds. That is a disconnected process. And so what we propose is a closed loop process that eliminates the need for this human intervention that's slowing things down. And so in our model, in our suggested model, you still have SolarWinds ServiceNow, and now you also have eyeShare integrating between the two of them and providing bi-directional data flow. And so in this closed loop process, the flow of information now is still SolarWinds generating an alert, but now instead of going to a person, although it still can, the alert goes to eyeShare. And then eyeShare, what eyeShare's real strength is, beyond integrating SolarWinds and ServiceNow, eyeShare can actually remediate the underlying incident that caused the alert. So whether it's low disk space or a user being locked out or any of a number of different typical issues that IT personnel have to deal with, eyeShare can remediate it through software. And then while it's remediating it simultaneously, eyeShare can automatically open up a ticket in ServiceNow and document all the steps that it's taken to remediate the problem. And this is what we call a closed loop process, which is completed when eyeShare then goes back and updates SolarWinds. By the way, when you have eyeShare installed in this environment, it also provides a bi-directional flow for ServiceNow. So, for example, if you wanted to kick off a process at 3 a.m., you simply open up a ticket in ServiceNow, and then that ticket would go to eyeShare, which would then begin working on it at 3 a.m. or whenever you wanted to schedule it for. Okay, so what are the benefits of this closed-loop process? Well, once you have ServiceNow and SolarWinds integrated, you can do a lot more than just the automatic creation of tickets. You're eliminating manual work and the human errors that accompany it. You're radically reducing the resolution time of your SolarWinds alerts because you're using automation to remediate them. This is kind of a big one, but not thought of too often, is that you're able to enforce problem and change management procedures. And that can help your IT department come into compliance with ITIL v3 standards. Automating these sorts of tasks also will reduce the noise that your service desk has to deal with and frees up your level 1 and level 2 staff to work on more important things and will make them much happier getting them out of the muck of dealing with the day-to-day tedium of these tasks. And, of course, doing all this ensures a fully documented end-to-end process in ServiceNow. So that's why we are big advocates of the closed-loop process approach. So one of the questions we're often asked is, well, how do I justify this? What is the ROI? Well, I'm going to show you the ROI. The ROI for the closed-loop process does not require a rocket scientist to figure out. We have a free ebook on how to measure the ROI of IT process automation. And at some point during today's demo or afterwards, you can find this by simply going to our website at iehu.com, choosing the resources menu, and then clicking on ebooks and white papers. And if you scroll down, you'll see our IT process automation ebook is there for download that'll help guide you through how to figure out the costs and the benefits of implementing IT process automation in your environment once you've integrated SolarWinds with ServiceNow. And if you can't remember all of that, just go to Google and type in IEHU ROI ebook. Okay, and one last thing, what are the top 5 tasks you should automate? Well, we're giving you a list based on what our customers are telling us they're automating. Number 1, of course, is the automation of ticket creation upon the issuance of a SolarWinds alert. Everybody loves doing that, so they get out of the business of manually creating those. That's the number 1 thing people want to automate. And then the running of scripts, service accounts unlocked, freeing up server disk space, and running SQL queries based on SolarWinds alerts. These are some of the most popular uses once you include or introduce IT process automation into your environment. Okay, I've spoken enough. Thank you for your patience. And now we are going to turn over the demo to Yaron Levy, who's going to show you very quickly and very easily how to integrate SolarWinds with ServiceNow. Yaron, take it away.
I apologize for that, guys. I don't know what happened to this phone, but I hope everyone can hear me right now. I'm going to share my desktop. And once again, good morning, everyone. My name is Yaron Levy, and I'm managing the professional services out there in New Jersey. I'm going to start with a quick demonstration so you guys can feel how eyeShare is actually going to help you to automate all kinds of IT tasks that includes remediating issue from SolarWinds. And as Guy mentioned, SolarWinds is only one of our integration. We also support others such as the HP and the Microsoft system and the BMC system and so on. We're going to focus here on SolarWinds and on ServiceNow. Okay, so hopefully everyone can see my desktop. What you're seeing right now is the eyeShare. Mainly the eyeShare comes with two interfaces. One is a dashboard, and this is what you're seeing right now, and the other one is the studio. The studio is mainly used to build and design the different type of IT processes that you guys would automate inside your organization. The dashboard can help you to, first of all, centralize events or alerts coming from any kind of a monitoring or a ticketing system into basically one main screen. You can connect as many monitoring systems as you want to one place and have all the information over here. The other benefit over here, and usually I look at this dashboard as a kind of a tactical station where it's going to show you most of the critical issues that you guys having with your monitoring system. Then you will be able not just to see the alert itself, but you will actually see the exact process, the exact automation that is running behind the scene, including the automation around opening the ticket, but also the troubleshooting and communication and so on. What I'm going to do, I'm going to start with a very short demo, and then we'll deep inside just to show you how it works behind the scene. So my environment, first of all, includes SolarWinds, which I hope everyone is familiar with. This is the console of SolarWinds. Right now, you can see it's empty. There's no alerts over here. I also have my ServiceNow instance that is running here, and those are the tickets that are currently open right here. And I have a targeted server that SolarWinds is right now monitoring its disk space. So the demonstration will be around this space, but think that this scenario is only very simple, just for demonstration, and you can take this scenario and leverage it to any other scenario that fits to your policy over there. Once again, this space is just one issue. I'm pretty much sure that all of you that are using SolarWinds take it more to the network stuff. So think that eyeShare can also automate anything around there, whether it's problems with your network equipment, troubleshooting that you need with your network equipment, and so on. So any alert that can come from SolarWinds, then eyeShare will have the capabilities to handle that. Focusing on this space issue, I'm going to fill up this server with some files just to reduce the current disk space. And I'm going to wait a few seconds to let my SolarWinds to recognize the problem and alert about it. This is my eyeShare, this is my SolarWinds, and I'm going to wait a few seconds to get the alert. Now, once SolarWinds will see the problem, it will automatically report to eyeShare about that new alert. And we were going to see inside the dashboard where we're seeing some other samples of alerts, we're going to see a new incoming alert that is coming here, and then we can see exactly what is the automation is doing for us. And here it is. First of all, in SolarWinds, if I refresh this again, you will be able to see the alert over here. So we got a problem in our eyeShare demo environment. The disk space is now less than 10%. And once SolarWinds noticed that, they actually automatically send that event directly to eyeShare. Here's the event or the incident in the eyeShare dashboard. eyeShare demo, it has a problem with one of its volume, and the green icon here indicates there is a running process now behind the scenes. Now you can take a look and see exactly what this process is doing for you right now. And what you're seeing right here are all the actions or the activities, as we call it, that we're performing, or actually eyeShare performing right now in order to remediate the problem. Usually the first thing you're going to do when you get an incident or an alert, you're going to first make sure that this is not a false alert. Monitoring system tends to send a lot of false alerts. The last thing you want to do is, open ticket for every alert that you're getting, even if it's a false alert. So the first thing we're actually connecting to that remote server and checking again the disk space just to make sure if it's really lower than 10%. And you see that the result that I got from there is 8.2, which means, yes, this is a real problem. We have a real disk space issue. The next thing that happened, and very quickly, is that we're collecting some information about that remote server, the available CPU, the operating system that is running there, and you can see it returns that it's Microsoft 2008, and the current available memory, just to record those metrics, so it will be documented inside the ticket as well. Of course, you'll see later on that you can select out of hundreds of other actions of information that you can use starting from Performance Monitor to collect whatever information or forensic information or troubleshooting that you would like to do prior to actually opening the ticket. And the value there is that when you actually open the ticket or communicate with a person about a problem, is that you're not just letting him know that there is a disk space issue, but you're actually getting a lot more information that iShare collected for him, and from that point, it's going to be easier for him to try to solve or at least access this problem. The next thing that happened here is that once iShare knows this is a real problem, we've collected some information, we did some troubleshooting, then yeah, we're ready to open the ticket, and this is the action to create tickets inside ServiceNow. You can see we got the ticket number 281. If I'll go to my ServiceNow and I'll refresh this page, you can see over here the ticket, and I'm going to get back to this ticket later on. The next thing, and that's very important in iShare, it's ability to communicate with people. This is a very a great feature over here because it lets you not only to communicate with people, but actually get some kind of a response from them. So we support 4 communication methods: email, text message, phone calls, and instant messaging. And for all those methods, we support what we call two-way communication, which means that once we're sending someone a notification about an alert, about a problem, we actually expect to get some kind of a feedback from that person. And that feedback, by the way, can be either, yes, I'm going to take charge of this incident, I'm going to handle it, or it can even be some kind of a decision or approval that this person is doing when this process is running. Now, again, this is just a sample demonstration. Of course, you can take it, and you can see how easily it is to modify those processes to be fully automated in case you don't need any human intervention. But I'm showing you this just, to demonstrate these capabilities as well. The other good thing over here is that every communication that is done has a time period that actually iShare is willing to wait for the response of that person. And if it doesn't respond on that time that was defined, then it will automatically escalate to someone else. It can be a colleague, a manager, whatever. And this is what happened very quickly in my demonstration. I tried to send email to John Smith, and actually iShare waited for his response for over 120 seconds, John did not respond. I don't know where John is right now, okay? But he couldn't respond to this alert, and that's why iShare immediately escalated to myself by sending me an instant messaging, and is now waiting for my response, how to handle this alert. This is a pop-up message that I got to my instant messaging. It contains a message about the problem, that there is a disk space issue. It contains the information about the node or the server with the problem. It can contain all the information, all the forensic and troubleshooting, whatever you need to put here to make the life easier for the IT guy. You can provide that information over here, including the ticket number and a question or approval thing that I'm asking, that iShare is actually asking me to approve if I would like. And he tells me that please approve removing temp files and clear recycle bin in order to remediate that issue. So that's the policy that we've defined in this specific process, that we know that if we will do those actions, there's a big chance that we're going to resolve this problem immediately. I'm going to ask you to approve this instruction. Once it gets back my feedback that I approve it, the first thing that we're going to do is we're having another interaction with the SolarWinds. We're acknowledging the alerts over there. So this is another interaction the other way to SolarWinds. The first way is where we got the alert from SolarWinds, and this is the other way where we actually send an acknowledgement to SolarWinds. So if anyone is looking at the SolarWinds console, they know Yaron is handling this issue right now. The next step will be to update the record inside the ticketing system. So people will know that I was assigned to that ticket and that I approved that instruction to clear those temp files. The other two actions that you're seeing right here, we're actually going to that remote server and delete the temp folder and clearing the recycle bin. If I go back to that targeted server, you can see the files have been disappeared and the recycle bin has been cleared. So actually, we've solved the problem. The next thing that's going to happen in 2 seconds from now is that SolarWinds is going to notice right now that the problem no longer exists. And therefore, he's actually sending a recovery message to eyeShare telling him that the problem has been resolved. And that's why you can see that the incident has been disappeared from my dashboard in eyeShare. I got a notification that the problem has been resolved as well. And at this point, we're even going to ServiceNow and closing the ticket. Let me go back inside the ticket just to show you how this ticket looks like. First of all, you can see that I was assigned to this ticket as part of the process. You can see all the troubleshooting and forensic information that we've collected during that process is documented as well. The time that I approved the action of clearing the folders and the recycle bin, and to the time that this ticket actually has been closed by eyeShare. So this kind of show you a full cycle of, getting an incident, getting a problem from a monitoring system, in our case, SolarWinds. I should get that, run some troubleshooting, do communication with people if relevant, get instructions from people if that requires any kind of approval cycle to do something, and then remediate the problem in case that is that can be done, and document everything inside the ticketing system. Okay, so behind the scene, how easy was to build such a process? So again, behind the scene, we have the eyeShare Studio Designer. The Studio Designer is a place that you can actually draw the process that you intend to automate here when you want to solve a problem. This is how my workflow to remediate this space issue looks like from an upper level. It's a very short process. Doesn't take more than 15 to 20 minutes to build it. All the boxes that you're seeing right here, what we call activities, will all drag and drop from the toolbox on the left side, and I'm going to get to that toolbox in a second. You can see that each box or each activity has its name, has its type. So the first one was disk space, and this action knows how to connect to a remote server and bring back the disk space. Of course, you can select if you want the available percentage, the usage. You have all those. You can select between different type of information. Each activity returns back a result to eyeShare in real time. Okay. And the first thing that we want to do when we got that disk space issue is to first make sure this is not a false alert. So we actually confirm by connecting to that remote server and checking again what is the disk space status. We actually confirm that this is not a false alert. Now there is an if-else branch over here that will follow, that the eyeShare will follow according to the result of that disk space issue. If it was less than 10%, meaning this is a real problem, eyeShare will continue from this branch. If it was a false alert, then it will just send an email notification to the admin, whatever IT guys or help desk you guys are going to choose, and then we'll close the incident. This was a false alert. There's nothing actually to do here. In our case, once we know this is a real alert, here is where we collected the CPU, the available CPU, the operating system, the memory, and again, all these actions were drag and drop from the toolbox. Going to the toolbox, currently when you download eyeShare, you're getting more than 500 different type of actions, ready actions that you can drag and drop and design your own process. There's no development over here. There's no scripting that you need to write here. There's no code that you need to be familiar with. Everything is actually ready for you. All the actions are already ready for you. It's all divided by different type of categories. and I'll just go over on some of the highlights over here. For example, Active Directory, which gives you a bunch of actions that you can use to automate things around Active Directory. For example, doing a password reset automation, doing unlock user automation, doing an onboarding process, and for example, HR department, they can open a ticket in ServiceNow saying that they have a new person on board and they request to create account for him in Active Directory. eyeShare has the capabilities together with the integration with ServiceNow to take that ticket, similar to the way it takes the alert from SolarWinds. It can take that ticket from ServiceNow and process an automation around that, okay, and do an onboarding, for example. Second, Cisco. Anything around automating Cisco equipment, network equipment. If you need to back up your Cisco, if you need to change configuration of your Cisco routers, then you can use the following actions to automate that. Communication. Anything around sending emails. Make a phone call to someone, sending an instant messaging or text mobile. Use those actions. For example, let's say during the process I need to notify someone by sending them a text message. I'm going to select that activity. I'm going to put it anywhere in the process I feel that it fits to be there, and inside is where you can select between existing users or directly type in the number of that person and then just type whatever message you want to send, and in real time, actually it's going to use that to send that text message to the person. Going further, databases. So we support 4 communication databases. DB2, MySQL, Oracle, and Microsoft SQL, meaning that if part of your process requires to take some information and manipulate that information from a remote database, then you have those tools to use it. Handling files and folders, anything around, checking if a file was modified, copying file from one place to another place, read files, look for error logs in files, and so on. And I'm just going to go, to the highlights regarding to this. We have Microsoft Exchange as well over here. SolarWinds. So those are the actions we have around SolarWinds. So we can acknowledge an alert from here. We can query for existing alerts that are out there right now in your SolarWinds environment. We can query for a node and for all the information about that node in case some of the information you need to send notification to a person, you need to get some more information about that server, then you can use that action, and to unacknowledge an alert. Those are the 4 actions around the SolarWinds. Basically, again, the SolarWinds is a two-way integration. You can get alerts from there, and you can react back to alerts by acknowledge or by doing some queries. The integration for ServiceNow is over here. Again, this is a two-way integration as well, meaning that, first of all, we're able to get tickets from ServiceNow. It doesn't matter if it's an incident, change, problem, or whatever form you guys are going to use inside ServiceNow. eyeShare is capable of getting those tickets and process whatever automation required around that. Those are the 5 actions that we have around ServiceNow. So creating a ticket, deleting a ticket over there, query for existing ticket from a specific form, update a ticket or close a ticket, whatever, and upload an attachment. Going further, one of the last highlights is the VMware. So anything around provisioning new virtual machines, updating virtual machines configuration. Again, a person can request by opening a change request inside ServiceNow or whatever other ticketing system that we have integration with, can request to provision a new virtual machine. eyeShare can get that request, can parse the message that says to him, okay, this is the number of CPUs I need, this is the disk space I need in order to provision this. And once eyeShare complete building that server, you can actually close the ticket and send that information, how to connect to that server to that person. So basically 500 different type of actions, very easily. Everything is drag and drop, no coding, no development. Take minutes to build processes over here. On the right side, we have what we call workflow templates. Those are actually ready workflows that if you drag them, it's gonna draw an entire process for you. Everything here is the knowledge that we got from existing customers, things that they build, that they are using, and they were willing to share it with us. and I'll just open for you one example. For example, under Active Directory, let's take find zombie user. If I drag this one, it's a process. It's already processed. The only thing you need to change here is the credentials to Active Directory, and that's it. This process can be scheduled to run once a day or once in a month or whatever, and then collect all the users that didn't log in for the Active Directory for over 120 days and send that as a report to the admin. Okay, so basically there are 120 different types of templates. When you download the product, you're going to get all those templates. Feel free to look at them, to use them, to change them, to modify whatever you need to do it. Basically, it gives you a lot of ideas of things that you can do. Going back and talking again about the integration with SolarWinds and ServiceNow. So one important thing about the integration with ServiceNow is that the integration itself is pretty much everything is pretty much done automatically for you over there, meaning that all the discovery of what are the forms that exist over there, you can select which form you would like to open or update the ticket. So we actually discover all that for you. You don't need to run any kind of a configuration in order to get that data. Once you select that form, you're going to have the option to select which fields from that form is something that you would like to use or you need to use when you open a ticket. You're going to select them and then populate with whatever information you need to do when you open the ticket. So everything is pretty much automated. All the discovery is automated. Even if tomorrow someone's going to do some modification inside your ServiceNow instance, let's say they're going to build some new form or going to change or modify some of the existing forms like the incident, eyeShare will discover those changes automatically. There's nothing you need to do on your end to maintain that. One very important thing here is that, and as we said, we're getting the alert from SolarWinds, and the first question is going to be, okay, so once you're getting that alert, what exactly do you do with it? So basically, the first thing that eyeShare do with those alerts is to parse the message and understand the message. This helps you to actually build a more of a generic processes that doesn't have inside hard-coded server names. For example, as you can see here, we're actually using a variable. This variable is getting filled with real-time information when we're getting the alert from SolarWinds. So we're actually, when the alert comes to eyeShare, we parse the information, we take out the node name or the server name, and then put it in real time when we're running this process. And now all of the other activities are all referred to the same host name. So basically, at the end of the day, you're going to have one process, and as long as the policy of clearing disk space in this example is going to be the same for all the server, one process is going to be enough to knock out all the disk space issues that you guys have in your environment. It doesn't matter how many servers you guys have there. Last thing, how do you exactly set up which workflow you would like to start and when? So there are two different ways to set this up. The first one is action rules. Action rules are used to determine specific conditions based on information you're getting from outside, from an alert. So once we're getting an alert, eyeShare parse the message. You can build a condition saying that, okay, if I got a volume problem, and that's part of the text that we got from the alert itself from SolarWinds, then this is the workflow that I would like to run in order to remediate that problem. So the rule base are the place that you can set up the different type of conditions and whatever workflow you want to execute based on input that is coming from outside. In some cases, you will need to schedule workflows. Some workflows, they don't wait. You don't need to wait to get something. You just want to schedule them. For example, you can do a proactive disk space cleanup, and you're gonna build a very simple process that will be scheduled once a day, and we'll go ahead and connect to all of your servers and clear some of the files over there, based again on the policy that you guys have. So you can schedule that over here. Basically, that's it, Guy. Want to take it? Guy?
Yaron, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Did you also want to show really quickly how the actual integration is done, how we connect to SolarWinds?
Sure, I can do that in 2 seconds. You wrote it's taking 5 minutes. I'm saying it's taking less than 1 minute. Okay.
Okay. Hold on, we gotta give you screen control.
Yeah, I have control. Can you see my desktop back again?
No.
1 second, and here it is right now. Can you see it right now?
Okay.
So this is where we set up the configuration, both with SolarWinds and both with ServiceNow. So for SolarWinds, the only thing that you need to provide here in order to start getting alerts is just, the IP address or the host name where the SolarWinds is and the credentials. This is a database integration, so the credentials for the database. And that's it. And once you provide that information, from that point of time, you're starting to get alerts from SolarWinds. There is another feature over here to set up different type of filters. So let's say you would like to get only critical alerts from SolarWinds and not the rest. And basically, that shouldn't take you more than 1 minute to complete those settings and to start getting those alerts. Pretty much same goes for ServiceNow. The integration itself, once you install the product, the only thing you need to provide here is your URL to your instance in ServiceNow, the credentials to access that instance, and that's it. You're going to test the connection, you're going to see that it's working, and from that point of time, you can either open tickets or get tickets. One additional feature over here is that you can basically select which forms you would like to listen and wait to get tickets from. So instead of just getting everything from ServiceNow, the default are change request, incidents, and problems, but you can add as many other forms as you need, and you can remove forms. And over here, again, you can set up different type of filters. Please give me only incidents that are critical, and for the rest, I don't want to know about it. And that's it. It's like a 1 minute setup, and it's going to work for you.
Okay, so the title of the webinar was how to integrate SolarWinds and ServiceNow in 5 minutes, and actually, as Yaron showed you, we can do it in about 1 minute. So it really is that simple. Noy, if you could please give me back screen control, I'll bring back the last few slides. Okay, bear with me, please. Okay. All right. So that concludes the demo portion of today's webinar. And then if you would like to try it out for yourself, you can simply go to our website at eyehu.com, and you'll notice that there is a download menu. And if you click that, you can download for yourself a 30-day free trial of eyeShare. It's fully featured. There's no restrictions on it except for the 30 days. And you'll also need the integration pack for ServiceNow and for SolarWinds, but you can actually test it out right there in your own environment and see for yourself how easy it is to do. And so that brings us to the conclusion of the demonstration portion of today's webinar. If you have any technical questions, please go ahead and submit them through the panel on your right at the lower right of your screen. And do we have any technical questions for your own? Okay. Doesn't look like we have any questions. So thank you all again for your time. We're getting you out a few minutes early. And if you do come up with any questions following today's webinar, feel free to just send them my way. My email is right there on the screen. It's guy@eyehu.com. Or you're also welcome to visit our website at www.eyehu.com and initiate a chat session. And one of our technicians will be happy to answer any questions you might have. And that'll conclude today's webinar. Thank you all very much for your time, and we'll hopefully see you next time. Bye-bye, everyone.